And we're live.
Hey.
Yo.
Hey, yo. Yo, hey.
Hey.
Yo, hey. Yo, Joey.
How's it going, guys?
Yo.
What's new with you?
Good, how about you guys?
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. Can't complain.
I was out today, dude. The temperature and pressure change here, just like I was on my ass for most of the day with a headache. It was so bad.
I thought you meant you went outside and did some stuff.
If by that you mean shoveling snow, then yes.
Well, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I'm
of
sitting
snow.
at a cool, like, 15 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Feeling better now, Paul?
Yeah. I felt better about an hour or two ago, so that was good. I was worried, too, because I was like, I'm not going to sit at a computer and do a podcast if I feel this shitty. And then it went away. I was like, okay, we're good.
Perfect.
It was
Just in
meant
time.
to be.
Yeah.
Last weekend, I did watched a couple old movies to show my girlfriend them.
Oh, yeah?
I also wanted to know how they stood up.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to tell you the names of the movies, and I want you guys to tell me how you think they stand up.
Okay.
300.
Probably all right if you like action movies.
It's weird you bring up 300 because somebody I was talking to also brought up 300 this week for some reason.
That is weird.
I bet it is probably about a 6 or 7 out of 10 still.
I think that movie, I thought actually held up, like, is better than I remember it.
Sure. Okay.
I had more fun. I was expecting it to be like kind of just worse than I remember it. I had a lot of fun watching that movie again.
Okay.
You know, good action. I would say Zack Snyder's best movie.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, why? What are you holding up there? You a big Sucker Punch fan?
Let me see what else he's done. Because I can't remember.
Kind of like Watchmen, but sort of.
Oh, I definitely like Watchmen
kind of
better than 300. That's not even...
I think Watchmen's fine. I think 300 is better than Watchmen.
Let's see what else he's done here.
Sucker Punch, Man of Steel, Justice League, the Snyder Cut, which I saw this week. They're bringing Jared Leto's Joker into that. So
why?
That movie is a parody of itself.
Even though I don't love it in comparison to the original, especially, I think his Dawn of the Dead is better than Watchmen and 300.
Okay, I actually have not seen Dawn of the Dead, so I'll give you that. Would you say it's a second? But no, you said you're a Watchmen fan, so you would put Watchmen above it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like Watchmen show is real good.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Good.
The Watchmen book's real good. I don't think that movie's very good.
It's very, very good.
Okay, the next movie, Borat.
You know, I think it's one of those things that it was a thing of its time, but I bet it's hard to watch it back now.
You're saying Borat does not hold up in 2020?
I mean,
well, the fact that Borat 2 comes out tomorrow kind of
actually out now. You can watch Borat 2 right now.
Oh, can you?
Do you plan to watch that this weekend? That was kind of the genesis of it. Is some friends and I were talking about Borat 2, and my girlfriend's like, I've never seen Borat, and I was like, really? That thing was huge at like my elementary school. Like, if you were like an 11-year-old boy, you loved Borat.
Yeah.
Part where he says, "My
girlfriend was an 11-year-old boy," but
yeah.
I mean, close enough.
I bet sensibilities wise, it doesn't hold up for a lot of people. I bet I would still enjoy it though.
Yeah, I think the humor is probably gonna be super crude, but it probably still otherwise holds up.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of parts where you're like, it probably wasn't okay to say that back then. It's really not okay to say that now.
Yeah.
Honestly, going back in to watch Borat, which I hadn't seen, since it came out, all I could remember was the naked men wrestling in the hotel. That's all I could remember from that movie.
That's right. Yeah.
And then also he says my wife.
He does.
My wife.
Wife, yeah.
It's a good part.
That's the thing that kind of outlived that movie and his show.
Yeah. So we were watching Borat. It was me, my girlfriend, and my roommate. My roommate and I, who had seen Borat before, we both kind of agreed. I never need to see Borat again.
Okay,
definitely did not need to see it a second time.
Sure. Okay.
So what you're saying is you've already got the movie like Borat 2 ready to go.
We're going to watch it this weekend just to see, because I'm so curious what a new Borat is. What is a new Borat movie?
Yeah, I'm
remember
excited.
Bruno, the other movie that was basically like that Sacha Baron Cohen made.
Bruno,
Didn't everyone hate that movie?
Yeah, that was a pretty bad movie.
Most people hate that movie.
I did not see that. I just remember that like the next few afterwards got like destroyed by the critics. Anyway, so we'll see what Borat 2 is like this weekend. You guys gonna check out the new Borat?
For sure.
Nope.
I'm so excited for it.
Okay. We'll have to talk about it for sure.
Sure.
Spoiler cast it. I'm sure it'll have tons of great lore and good story to talk and spoiler cast.
Gotta be a good talk for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that monologue at the end of 300 chills. It's like, yeah, you are gonna destroy that guy. Let's go, one-eyed dude. Yeah, it's a good part of that movie.
Sure.
Yeah, anything going on with you guys? Anything else? Dive in?
Nope.
Halloween plans? Halloween's coming up just over a week.
We're gonna put candy outside the door and then just turn off the lights.
Nice.
Do you think you're gonna get trick-or-treaters?
Yes, 100%.
Wow. Pretty sure like my town has decided no trick-or-treating.
I think even if Calgary decided no trick-or-treating, people would still do it.
Yeah.
Seems like a bad idea. Everyone just put your hands in this bucket.
It's like literally the one time a year kids were wearing masks and gloves. So
yeah,
I guess they are gonna have gloves on, but I don't know.
I think it's a worse idea that they open schools up than trick or treating. Frankly,
yeah. But we'll see. You'll have to report back. That'll be after next week's show, though, so we'll hear back later on. Anyway, let's do the show now. This is the top-down perspective for October 22nd, and I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
Okay, Paul, what have you been playing?
It started off last week. We played Jackbox 7, the new Jackbox party pack.
Okay.
It's okay.
What are the games? I need to know. What are the sequels? What's the bad one?
Sure. Okay, so the games in it are Quiplash, The Devil's in the Details.
Is it like Quiplash 3?
3, yeah. Quiplash 3.
Okay.
And it's still Quiplash. It's still the exact same thing you would expect.
Sure.
I guess like whatever change is in it now is sometimes they add in another player's name into the prompt. So
it's like directed at someone.
Yeah. So I guess that's wacky or whatever.
Sure.
The next game is called The Devil's and the Details. It's basically you play. It's a whole bunch of mini games. Think like, Among Us has a bunch of mini games and you're trying to like, as the crew, play them to like reach a goal. It's kind of the same idea where everybody's trying to reach this goal where you play a bunch of devils doing chores, like family chores. The twist is that there's some goals that don't help the family but give you points, and like so they're like selfish goals or whatever, so you can try to win or whatever. Like you get points for doing everything together, but at the end of the game, if your family doesn't reach its quota of chores, nobody gets anything. You all lose. So you're trying to balance doing team stuff together so that you win, but also sneaking in some like selfish goals so that you are the winner at the end with the most points, and like people can stop you from doing them and stuff like that as well. The problem with this one is that it rewards it's hard to want to help the family win if you're not the one winning. Like, of course, the people with like 20,000 points are trying to do family chores or whatever, but it's like, well, I'm not going to win. Why the fuck would I want to win this game for us? Like, I don't want to help you win. So it kind of devolves into this like chaotic, I'm going to just not do anything.
Because you know if you let the family win, that the family actually isn't going to win because you have so many points. The other person?
Like, if you meet the quota, then the person who's in first is going to win. You're not going to win. The person in first is going to win. So why wouldn't I try to sabotage this at this point?
So how does the family win? Do you have to just ensure that no one has done a selfish choice?
It doesn't matter. At the end, there's always somebody with the most points. There's always one winner, even though the family has to work together so that everybody wins, which is the problem.
Okay. And can you see everyone else's points?
Yes, at all times.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
that is kind of weird.
Yeah, so it's like, well, I know this guy's going to win, so I'm only going to do selfish tasks to make sure that we can't win. Because if you do too many selfish tasks, you get locked out of the house, and nobody can do any points at all for the family quota. So it's like, well, why wouldn't I do selfish tasks?
Well, I guess that's kind of the push and pull is you're going to start doing just selfish tasks.
Yeah.
And it's going to force the other person who is currently in first place to do family tasks so that everyone can pass that family mark. But once you've done enough selfish tasks, you're going to end up in their shoes and you're going to have to do family ones. Well, otherwise those points are going nowhere.
So this is the problem.
I guess that's kind of the push and pull.
Is the people we were playing with are like not understanding that, because like the person that's in first, they're wanting to win, so they should be the one spending time to stop me from doing selfish tasks, say, right? What happens instead is that I'm getting fucking crab bucketed by the person in fourth that's like, no, stop doing that. It's like, what are you talking about? You're letting him win. Like, you should be focusing on stuff. It should be up to him to stop me. That's the reason why this exists, is because when somebody's in first, they're more incentivized to stop me from fucking around. But yet the other people that are going to lose as well are stopping me for whatever reason. So, I don't know. It's weird.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how you fix that either with that game. That game's just kind of weirdly made, weirdly incentivized. The next game is called Champed Up. And this is basically TKO. Kind of.
Interesting. Okay.
Where
that's a good one.
Yeah. You make a fighter and then you get pit against another player's fighter. So let's say,
are you drawing them or?
Yeah, so like let's say the first prompt is you make a fighter and somebody draws like a hat on a skateboard with a razor blade or something.
I mean, they're probably going to draw a penis.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll tell you one that we got. Someone drew Shrek or whatever. And he named him Ogre.
Okay, I mean, that's the next thing. If you're done, if you haven't, you're going to draw a dick, you're going to draw a Shrek, you're going to draw Shrek's dick.
Yep.
It's like the three. That's the Triforce.
So they drew him and his name was Ogre or whatever based on the prompt at the beginning. And then somebody else got shown that character and was like, okay, create a competitor for this fighter. So they drew Super Ogre, which is basically just a bigger Shrek. And then
classic.
And then like when the fight happens, everybody gets the prompt of like who would win this based on the thing. And then people click on who they want to win, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cute. It's fine.
So I'm assuming it's just who drew a funnier picture.
Or like either who drew, you have to draw like a really funny or good. So based on the prompt that like you get or whatever, you have to draw something good or funny or witty from that. And then the next person has to draw something even better to one-up it, essentially, is the idea. And yeah, it's fun. The next one is called
I don't think this is exactly like TKO, but
No.
It's a drawing one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like TKO in that you're pitting up two bad drawings against each other, and then the audience is, or the people are choosing which is the better of them or whatever.
Right. In the chat, they're saying similar to Super Fight, which is like a card game.
It's
yes, it sounds just like Super Fight. Yes.
It's similar to Super Fight. Yeah, for sure. The next one's called Talking Points. This is a presentation game where you are given, so everybody puts in a bunch of ideas for topics that you were given a presentation on. Then you get to choose out of like 3 or 4 of them which one you want to do. And you just give a presentation about this topic, but the, I guess, silliness comes in is that another player is given the opportunity to give you weird text slides, like PowerPoint slides and pictures that you have to like react to off the cuff.
Oh, okay. This is very similar to just like a real world. Like I heard of these like quote unquote
presentation parties.
Yeah, like to do during like Zoom calls.
Sure.
Where like the idea that I had heard is if you make a presentation or like a PowerPoint but you pass the topic along to someone else, so they have to give a presentation on something they might not know at all about, and it can be pretty funny because they have to do like however much research in a week, and then all right, on Saturday we're all going to give presentations on the prompt we got.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I gave this person Destiny's lore and they don't play video games. And that's
the same idea.
That sounds like that. Yeah,
it's the same idea, only instead of like an actual topic, the topics are basically quiplash prompts, essentially, like just a silly thing or whatever, and then somebody else.
Give us an example.
None that are family friendly, probably. I'm trying to think of some. Okay, like one of mine was blank the unauthorized biography or whatever. So I put Jesus the unauthorized biography, and then somebody did a presentation on that, and then there was like silly slides and like weird quotes and stuff, and you can draw on the slides.
These ones, this is very similar to there was one in Jackbox 5 about like an invention you had to make.
Yes, it's very similar to that.
It's very similar to that, and those
good, so that's cool.
I was gonna say those ones can be super hit or miss because it's basically you're doing improv at that point, and if the person who's doing it can't come up with something or isn't very great at like isn't witty or generally kind of funny off the cuff, it can be really hard because they're like, it's a meat slinky.
Yeah,
or if you have someone who's like really good at just being completely silly, then it can be great. So it's those can be hit or miss.
It's very much like that. Only the difference is you didn't draw the picture that you're showing. They're being their slides being presented to you by a third party or a second party, I guess. Yeah, it's fun. And then the one that I really love is called the Blather Round. And what this is a player is given. Everybody's given like a thing to describe, right? Think of it kind of almost like charades, only you're choosing from like a list of different nouns and verbs how to describe it. So I'll think of an example here. One of mine was Aretha Franklin or whatever. That's what they have to guess, right? And everybody that's guessing can type in their answers or whatever. And then if an answer is close enough, it just says like, yeah, you obviously know what it is. And they give them the points. But like the prompt I'll give is like an old artist or something. Like they give you like a very not specific set of words to choose from. And then like people are guessing. It's like, okay, I need to narrow this down a little bit. And then if somebody guesses, say like, I think somebody guessed Martin Luther King or something. You can go kind of like Martin Luther King. Like you can click their answer and then like get them thinking on a certain path. And then you just be like, and then as the time goes down and down, you get more and more specific things. So eventually I was able to put like the original diva or something like that. Like, shit like that, right? And then they guess it, they get points, and then I get points for them guessing it for helping them out. It's easily the one that takes the most brain power out of them, but it's my favorite out of all of them, for sure.
Okay. All right. Is that all the games?
Yes, I think it is. That's 5 of them.
So is there even a bad one this time around? Because usually there's one that's just like, I don't ever want to play this one. This is a bad game.
The Devil's in the Details is it's fun, but once was enough for the night because it's a little stressful.
It's the weakest. It's the weakest one.
It's just you're constantly going. You're constantly doing little mini games all the time and like worrying about what everybody else is doing. Like it's the most engaging one. So it's just exhausting, kind of.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Sounds like a pretty solid pack then.
Yeah, it's not too bad, for sure. Other than that, I've been playing Phasmophobia a whole lot. This is the 4-player co-op ghost hunting game that came out a while ago by one person. It's fun. It's a janky piece of garbage, but it's fun. There's a lot of really, really bad mechanical stuff in it because it's being built by one guy who probably is doing this in whatever time before he goes to bed after work or something. So it's not well optimized. Sometimes it just completely breaks, as in literally the ghost will completely break and you can't solve it. So you just have to leave and do another one. But it's a very cool and fun framework for getting together with some buddies and like doing kind of a mystery thing and like working together to solve what the hell's going on, trying not to die, and then getting some like money out of it so that you can buy better equipment to do better ghost hunts later on. So yeah, it's solid. It's a very good game.
I've heard about this game. I haven't heard how you like. What's the end state? What do you do when you find the ghost? Like, do you suck it up like Luigi's Mansion style?
No. So what you're doing is you're just trying to figure out. Yeah, you're just trying to find out what the ghost is. So in your journal, you're looking for different clues, and then as you put in the clues, it narrows down what type of ghost it is. And then when you find out what ghost it is, you just put it down in your journal, and you can leave, and you get paid for it, like paid for the job. And then you can get extra money in the job for doing extra objectives, like taking a picture of the ghost or taking a picture of some dirty sink water that the ghost has tampered with, or doing certain things like that. So yeah, it's just about.
They're always just splashing around with the water, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are you doing with that water, ghost?
I guess the big draw for this is it requires microphones and voice recognition because the game is listening to you constantly, and the ghost will respond to you if you talk to it with certain things. So
okay,
there's certain phrases that will set the ghost off to do stuff. Like, I'll give you an example that actually just happened last night. So we were using a spirit box, and a spirit box, for anybody who might not know, is kind of like a broken radio that just consistently flips really fast through every channel. And the idea is that a spirit uses it by going to certain channels of a radio, like word by word, and putting together like a sentence or whatever. This game isn't that intuitive.
Oh, like how Bumblebee in the Transformers movies talks.
Honestly, yeah.
For those of us who in the know, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very much like that actually. So this game though is basic, so it's one-word answers. So on the box it said hello. So I said, "Hello, where are you?" And he said behind. And I looked behind me, and he popped out for a minute and looked at me and then went away. And it was like, oh, all right. So we took a picture of him. It's like, all right, we got the ghost picture.
Then what? Does he come and just murder you all? Like what?
Yeah. So you have a sanity mechanic, which is kind of like a health bar almost, right? And as it goes down, the ghost is more and more likely to hunt you. And during a hunt, the ghost can come and rip you apart or whatever, and then you're dead.
Classic, yeah. Okay.
Classic ghost.
What happens if into your mic you tell the ghost, "I'm gonna bust you, ghost"?
So it only.
What if you tell the ghost, "Bustin' makes me feel good"? Get ready.
So I mean,
ready for a bustin'.
We've done that, obviously. It's only programmed to recognize certain phrases currently, and to recognize.
I would have to assume this is the first one the developer would code into it.
No,
come on.
It more recognizes stuff like I'm scared right now, or is anybody there, or like just stuff that you would like call out, basically.
It's never met a real ghost.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, it's fun. It's a fun little game. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. It's a time sink. I've easily been like, I start playing, it's like, oh, it's been 7 hours of this. What the hell? Because yeah,
wow,
it just takes a while to get some of the missions done or whatever. The biggest problem right now with it is that, first of all, it's a janky piece of garbage. Second of all, there's not enough different locations. There's a few different houses. There's a farmhouse or two. There's an asylum. There's a school. I know they're adding a prison, an apartment building, and a mansion at some point.
Spooky.
Yeah, I would
I
say
was saying those are spooky places. Yes, I was
sure.
just color commentary.
Sure. And it is one of those games that looks like it's like it would be really scary, and I guess it could be, but I don't know. There's something about you're playing like a horror game with people, and you're kind of doing like this like mystery solving that the scariness doesn't really come through that much, because like you have an objective and you're working together for it, so it's like whatever.
Got your friends there to help you.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters traveled in 4s, so
yeah.
I mean that's just smart.
Yep, very true.
You make a game about busting ghosts, and it does not. And the first thing you code into it is not you saying "busting makes me feel good." That's the very first thing he should have put into the voice recognition.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, it's fun. It's one of those games that I find hard to recommend to people unless they have like one or two other people that would play with them, because it is a multiplayer centric game, and
you matchmake with randos.
You can, and
that sounds like a nightmare.
It is sometimes a nightmare. I've tried a few times. The first while it was really bad because it's like nobody had a mic, and it's like, well, if you don't have a microphone, I'm not going to play with you because we need to like talk things through and like set things up properly or whatever.
And we got to talk to this ghost.
And we got to talk to the ghost. There's people that can play in VR with people that aren't in VR. So if you're not in VR, the movement is very janky and like everything is controlled by the hip. So what that means is that when you're like looking up or down or whatever, people are seeing your right from the middle of your body bending up and down and without your legs moving or anything.
Because there's no neck control.
Right, exactly. It's just like really stupid looking. It's even worse if you're watching somebody play it in VR because they have hand control and they're just doing these weird like hand movements in the game.
Or classic VR, yeah.
Yeah.
This is just VR, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty funny. There's been more times than I can count of people just like joining a lobby and people being like, hey, is it okay that I'm drunk? And then I just leave. Everybody that plays that game with randos is drunk, apparently, because it seems like 1 out of 3 games has drunk people in it. So
it's just you got your squad of 4 Ghostbusters, and then this is the token drunk guy. We got
this is the guy you found just kind of lying in front of the doorway when you showed up.
Yeah, we needed a 4th. He had a mic, so he was already one step above everyone else.
I have to say, I had a good laugh, though, because one of the nights that I was playing, like,
kept shouting, busting makes me feel good.
Well,
so we're like, okay, well, then you gotta come help us out.
So it hit me that one of the nights I was playing that this is video games in 2020 when my character was just standing in a hallway while I watched a dude from the EU in the bedroom scream, "Are you there?" over and over at nothing. And he got so mad because the ghost wasn't showing up. He's like, "Give us a sign." Like, well, this is gaming in 2020. I'm sitting here watching a dude lose his mind at literally nothing.
That is very funny. That is very good.
Yeah, it's really good. Phasmophobia. It is like $10, so if people wanted to give it a shot, you could. I just highly recommend having somebody to play with.
Before you get your third game, I think we should jump at one of John's games because it's similar. John, you've been playing Kirby Fighters.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually playing it right now. How is this similar?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
I can if you want. But I thought I don't know what's happening here. I'm not used to this. Keep going, Paul.
Been playing Risk of Rain 2.
How is Risk of Rain 2?
Risk of Rain 2 is good. They just put the 1.0 on consoles.
So I'm just going to stop you for a second and say the way you do that transfer over is, I'm talking about Phasmophobia, and they're like, speaking of Ghosts of Tsushima, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that was the gimme. That was the gimme one.
I don't know. I thought mine worked.
I mean, it worked in throwing us all off, including you.
Hey, John should have picked up the ball and ran with it. That's not my fault.
You said, no, I don't have to, so then I didn't.
You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything.
You made the mistake of giving me an out. That was the problem.
What's going on right now?
I don't know. I think the podcast is breaking down.
All right, but really, how's Risk of Rain 2? Why did you play Risk of Rain 2 all of a sudden?
1.0 launched on consoles this week.
Oh, okay.
So that means there's finally an ending.
Yeah.
So we played a couple rounds of that. First round got killed on stage 5, which I think stage 5 was also new to us since the last time we played it. The like kind of purpley area. I forget the name of it.
Oh yeah, it probably was. Yeah.
And stage 6. So stage 6 is the last stage, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we played that one. The stage itself, it starts off cool, like good music. It's like, oh, this is like some final boss music. Here we go. But you have to just run for so long before you get to anything.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, this is actually kind of interesting because I know the longer this stage goes on, the harder it gets. So I'm literally watching this like difficulty meter go up while I can't do anything. So, but at the same time, it's like 7 minutes of doing nothing besides walking down kind of a hallway.
I know.
So it's
I don't
really
like it
odd.
that much myself either.
Like I think the novelty I'm feeling towards it will be done after this. The second time I get to that final stage, I'll be like, just get me to the end of it. Like this was interesting one time. Anyway, got to the final boss, lost after beating its first part. How many parts are there to it?
I think only 2.
Okay, so during the second one with the like horde of enemies, I lost. So we got to play through that one again. Just good. I'm glad that it's finally 1.0 because I'm probably going to play a good chunk of it now. I've just been kind of waiting for it to have an actual end, really like dive into that on the Xbox. That's Risk of Rain 2.
Yeah, it's a good game.
John, if you want to talk about Kirby Fighters, you're welcome to at this point.
Kirby Fighters 2 is a video game where you play as Kirby and you fighters for the second time.
Nice.
There's really not. There's nothing else really to talk about it. Like, so Kirby Fighters 1 came out on the 3DS a couple years back as a downloadable game, and that was actually
Smash Bros. Kirby, right?
Yeah, and that was like a fleshed out version of like a side mode in one of the 3DS like proper Kirby games. Yeah. So it's really just that on the Switch with online play and more forms and characters you can play as. That's about it. So it's Kirby Smash Bros. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, this seems Prince money as far as I'm concerned. Like this seems great.
It's all right. I'm grinding through story mode right now because it's pretty mindless. But yeah, like you start
the story
game,
mode just a Kirby game?
No, it's like DDD and Meta Knight challenged Kirby to a fight. So Kirby found a friend and tried to climb a tower. Wait, he found Wispy Woods instead. Guess he'll climb the tower again. Wait, he found fake Meta Knight and fake DDD. Guess he'll climb the tower again. Wait, he found actual Meta Knight and DDD, but they ran away. I guess we'll climb the tower again. Like, it just keeps doing that.
Weird.
But you're having battles in between, right?
Yeah, so each floor is a battle, and you fight a different Kirby or a different partner. And then when you beat it, you and your buddy get to upgrade yourself. Like, you get you can extend your maximum health, you can extend your attack power, you can extend your healing, or like you won't take damage from traps, you'll be ready for bosses, etc.
Okay.
It's like a Smash Bros. Arcade mode.
Yeah. It's all right. The one bummer is if you bought it and you actually just wanted to play with friends, it takes a while to unlock things because you start with 3 Kirby modes and like Bandana Waddle Dee. That's it. So you have to unlock the rest of the Kirbys and the rest of the partners by just leveling up, and it can take a while to level up.
It's weird. That seems odd.
Have you tried the online at all with just random people?
I have not yet, no, but my friends have, and they said it's all right.
I was wondering just if the netcode is any different or better than Smash's, but I guess doesn't really matter.
Real definitive answer on that.
Yeah. It's probably about the same.
Because Smash is pretty hit or miss. Sometimes Smash is perfect, sometimes Smash is utter dog shit.
Yep.
Man, that's Kirby Fighters 2. Back to you, Paul, with Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods, Part 1.
I like how he doesn't even give an out this time.
No. Fuck you.
Dude.
Talk about it.
Doom Eternal. Holy shit, this DLC is rough. Oh my god. It is so difficult.
Rough as in hard or rough as in like bad?
It's difficult, dude. It is very much not like even though it's a standalone thing, this is not the Doom Eternal that you want to start on. This is very much like you played through the main game. You know how this goes. Now get fucked, idiot. It's like, it's crazy how difficult some of these encounters are.
How often do you have to fight?
All the time. There's basically no downtime for fighting.
Sword guy. Oh no, the specific sword guy.
The Marauders.
The Marauder
with the
one that
shields,
you have to, like, hit in the back.
Yeah. I've had to fight them maybe 5 times now. I'm 4 hours in, so I finished the first level of 3.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, and they're like not even as bad. So like one of the fight rooms started with fighting 2 of them at the same time, and that's how it started. And then after that, it was just like, here's like 4 Mancubuses. Oh, here's 2 Cyber Mancubuses. Oh, do you want 2 Cyber Demons now? It's like, what are you doing? What the fuck? Yeah, it's crazy difficult.
Yeah,
I
was fine with every enemy in that game except for the Marauders, and like, it's like, because you'd be darting around, moving real fast, doing your like triple jump and your dashes and just going chaotic, and then you have to like stop and like wait for this really specific counter attack with the Marauders while everyone is just like literally dumping on you.
Yeah, they're still in the game. In fact, there's a new enemy in the game. There's turrets now, which are basically just mini Eye of Saurons that you have to snipe with a sniper.
Okay, and I'm assuming they shoot like lasers or something at you.
Yeah, they shoot just like little balls of energy or something at you, and then if you get too close, they hide.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Good? Are you having fun?
Yeah, it's more Doom, so it's good. But man, it would be nice to have
that hang on that was a little rough, not gonna lie.
It would be nice to have some downtime in between fights. It is literally, you have a giant fight that takes like 10 minutes. You go into the room next door, grab a key, you come back, you do a fight that lasts 10 minutes. Like, there is no time at all between fights. It is packed with that stuff, and I don't know that I like that. Again, I spent 4 hours and I'm done 1/3 of this DLC. So it feels kind of padded.
It's like you should stop playing it. Yeah.
No, I'm definitely going to keep.
I don't know. This doesn't sound like it's for me. I wasn't a huge fan of Eternal, and I was already getting kind of tired with the length of the fights in that.
This is nothing but fights, and they're extremely difficult.
Okay.
So yeah, this is definitely not for you. The story stuff that's introduced in here seems cool. I just wish that it didn't take hours of fighting to get into it. I guess is the thing. But I'll keep playing it because it's still fun to me. There's not as many secrets and things to explore either. Like, it's very much just kind of a condensed. I hope you liked the fights in Doom, because that's all this is, into about like a 10-hour package or something. But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
All right. John, why don't you continue?
Sure. I've been playing more Mario 35.
Did you beat it?
Digging that game still. What?
Did you beat it?
Well, I've won a lot, if that's what you mean.
Is it funner now that people have unlocked more than just one?
It is definitely way more chaotic now.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, like you'll get like waves of Lakitus and Spinies sent at you now, like giant groups of Bowsers. It is definitely way more interesting.
Yeah, it was. I played it only the day of it came out, and it was so fucking boring. So
yeah, I would recommend giving it give it a couple tries now.
Sure. Yeah.
And you'll get a lot more different stages. You'll actually start on a stage that's not 1-1.
Nice.
It is genuinely more interesting now than it was at launch, which makes sense because people have slowly figured out how to actually pick stages. In a way, it is definitely harder now, which is the trade-off, because now you're getting way more enemies sent at you. And some matches are faster, but I have definitely had a bunch of matches still go down to red timer and still take 15 minutes.
So there were people that would die frequently just in 1-1 from the first Goomba. Mm-hmm. How many people die now that you can start on a level with actual skill at the beginning?
If it is any stage that's not 1-1, you'll lose at least 10 players.
Okay.
I saw footage of someone starting on like 1-4 and 10 people died.
Oh,
like it was impressive.
Man, sometimes you have a bad run. Like, you're going to sit there and be like, I've never died to a Goomba? Like, bullshit. Sometimes you accidentally die to a Goomba. Sometimes you fall in a pit. It happens.
Pit for sure, all the time. That's how I die in that game. Is I fall in a pit.
You're gonna sit there. You're gonna look me in the eyes and tell me a Goomba's never killed you.
Yes, Goomba has never killed me.
That's impressive because even I can't say that.
In Mario 35, I have never died to a Goomba.
I just died in life.
I have died to Goombas before, but not in Mario 35.
Okay, well, you've played like an hour of Mario 35, so like theoretically, yes, you could have not died to a Goomba. But I just mean like seeing other people doing it. That's not insane. Sometimes you get a bad run.
No, it's not insane that one or two do. It's insane how many people do generally. That's the thing that is like, oh wow.
And consistently too. You'll like almost every match will have someone just die. A bunch of people just die off instantly.
I think some people also just leave like before the match starts.
That's also possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could say as someone who plays a lot of Battle Royale, yeah, sometimes people hit matchmake and then just like go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then they end up being on your team and it's like, please revive me. We're on a game where you can revive your teammates. Why are you just standing there? Oh man.
But yeah, Mario 35 is still fun. Nice. I also finished up All Was Legacy, and I got all the items, which unlocks a new mode, which is Pacifist mode, where you have to beat the game without fighting anyone, including the bosses.
Oh.
Yeah, so instead of fighting the bosses, now there's these tombstones that you would have been seeing through your original playthrough all around the map. Okay. If you can get to them and interact with them, they'll just kill off the boss in the dungeon you're in.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's not pacifist.
Well, more or
just getting someone else to
I guess. I don't know. Like the idea is that like your magic bar is wrapped around by a rose, and if you kill anything, like it wilts, and then you can't get the pacifist ending. But you can just play the game normally otherwise. But then you lose the ability to just skip boss fights and stuff like that. So. Okay. The only thing I haven't figured out though is what happens if does it save automatically if I accidentally like kill something, because some of the jumps are annoying, but it's also not that bad. So it's like a trade-off of like not too bad and just annoying. But yeah, it plays all right. Still has that annoying randomly your jump gets eaten if you looked at your map glitch.
Cool.
Yeah, but
you like this game? You've been playing it for like 3 weeks now.
That's about 10 hours of gameplay. So I'm at, yeah, it was 8 hours. Okay. Yeah, it was 8 hours to beat the game. And now I'm just doing the pacifist run just to see how it is. See if it gives me a better ending. Because the ending in main mode still kind of sucks.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing. Other than whatever I'm streaming.
Right. Well, I've got mine are pretty short because most of my time has just been Ghost of Tsushima's story mode, which I don't need to talk about anymore. But I did play some of the co-op mode that came out last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And it's good. I only played the first chapter because I'm waiting to actually play with not randos. At the first chapter, it's split up into like kind of 3 different parts, all heavily focused with like a narrative that's going to go through. I think there's 8 chapters in total, and then there's also like a survival mode, which I didn't look into, but I'm assuming it's going to be somewhat of a horde-ish mode. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that one too much. I was going through the story mode. But the way it's actually kind of interesting. So the way they make this game have a co-op mode is they take basically the main protagonist from Ghost of Tsushima. And if you think of like this game is basically Assassin's Creed, right? If you take an Assassin's Creed protagonist and you look at their like skill tree, it's always broken up as like warrior, assassin, and hunter. Warrior being your like regular fighting combat with like a sword, a spear, or whatever you're using. Assassin being your kind of stealth mechanics, your hidden blade attacks, stuff like that. Hunter being all of your like long ranged bow and arrow kind of stuff. So all of that are obviously here in Ghost of Tsushima. And the way the co-op works is, since it's class-based, they split your character into each of those kind of sections so that you specialize. So if you're playing as the first one is just like the samurai, that's just the default kind of combat. You're gonna focus mainly on the combat. There's I think it might actually be assassin for the assassin one. which is more about being stealthy, and you get a special ability for like stealth and stuff. Why can't I remember any of the names? Is it Hunter? I don't think it's Hunter, but there's also a bow one where it's focused on the ranged attacks. You stay in the back, you use your ranged attack. And then the most interesting one is the Ronin. Oh, and that was the one I played because as far as I know, those abilities aren't in Ghost of Tsushima. So it actually seems like the most unique one for this. They're kind of the support class. They can heal your downed characters, your downed allies. They can also summon a dog that will fight with you. At the end of the day, though, they all play the same. Like you can still do like sneak attacks, use a bow and arrow, and just fight with a sword in any situation. It just mainly seems like you have like a special ability and like an ultimate ability that will be focused on these different kinds of attributes. So like the Ronin's ultimate ability is he can res everyone who has fallen on his team all at once. Kind of like Mercy did in Overwatch. Whereas the samurai's abilities, he can like dart between like 3 people and like immediately kill them really fast. So, the arrow one shoots like a bunch of headshots like immediately, stuff like that. So you kind of just like, what do you want your ult to be? That's the main question. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I played the first chapter, which was 3 parts. The areas you go to are just areas from the Ghost of Tsushima map that you would have seen playing the game. Although now the sky is red and there's just a different color lighting around it because you're in the demon world now. And weird Oni stuff is happening, yada, yada, yada. But it was cool. It was me and one other person. The person's name was Temp and then a bunch of numbers, which sounds like a bot, but they were like running around in circles and shit like a human. So I have no idea. If they're a bot, that's a very good... like, let's make this bot be like a human person, because they were kind of coming near me and like crouching and stuff. They were doing human ass shit. So I don't know. I don't really know how on the PlayStation 4 to look up your like list of people you played with recently. I thought I found it, but it was empty. I don't know. Anyway, but it's cool. So you can like ping different enemies to try and talk to your person like, hey, I'm going to do this. And one thing that's kind of interesting in the way they try to force you to work co-op is if it seems like at least in chapter 1, all of the enemies were like linked through soul magic or some, video game nonsense. They were linked to each other in pairs of 2. And if you killed one of them and didn't kill their like link partner fast enough, they would revive themselves. So you have to work with your co-op person to do like duo stealth kills or duo, take them down pretty close to one another. And a lot of the maps kind of set themselves up appropriately. Enemies will be walking in teams of 2. They'll kind of have their back, and you can be like, okay, I'm going to ping this one so that your teammate will know, okay, I'll go for the other one. And then you can kind of go at the same time. And that's pretty cool. When you can like pull that off pretty easily without voice chat, that was a cool feeling. So we did that. I'm looking forward to doing more of those. It's a cool mode. I'm honestly surprised they put so much into this single player game for a co-op mode. Good for them. You can also just jump straight into this if for some reason you didn't want to play the main story. When you have this game, they give you a short tutorial on how each of the characters work and stuff, so you can just jump in without knowing anything.
Cool.
The last game I played, and this one's kind of interesting, is I played Redout, which is that like spiritual successor to Wipeout.
Yeah. I've been interested
played
in
it on Luna.
Years. Okay.
Because Luna is live.
Right.
I gave that a try, and this game was on there, and I was like, if this game probably has some pretty fast movement, if there's going to be latency issues, this would be a good one to test it out. So that's what I wanted to try out. Right now, anyone can jump into Luna, or they might have, I don't know if you have to like sign up for an invite earlier or anything, but there's a free 7-day trial, so that's basically what I'm on.
Okay.
I was able to, I just synced my Xbox One controller to my PC. Jumped in, was playing Redout like pretty much immediately. Totally fine. No issues whatsoever. No, I didn't experience any lag. There was like a network issue detected kind of pop-up showing up in the corner. I first loaded it up. That didn't seem to affect me in any way. So I don't know what that was talking about because everything was running and looking just fine. And to take a step back, if you don't remember what Luna is, this is Amazon's cloud gaming platform that they're launching to kind of go against Google Stadia.
Right.
I was also, just before we went live, trying to get it up on my phones because it is available on iPhones now. It's pretty ridiculous. So I wanted to try it on my iPad. And so first off, I'm going to the website to play it, and they're like, "Oh, this browser is not supported because I'm using Chrome on my iPad. I have to use Safari," which is odd to me because on iPads, all third-party browsers just use like the Safari backend with like a new shell on top of them. So it is technically Safari. Anyway, whatever. I have Safari on my iPad as too. So I loaded up the website on Safari, try and play it. And it says, okay, so for the best experience, hit the share button and then press add to home screen. Because on iOS devices for websites, you can make basically a shortcut to a website that will show up on your home screen. So it's not a new app, even though it'll look like an app. But when you tap it, it'll launch like a Safari page or a Google Chrome page.
Right.
If you want like an icon on your home screen to go directly to a website. And I was like, I don't need that. I don't need that for Luna right now. I understand you're telling me that's the best experience because you want me to have shortcut for Luna on my, but I don't need that. Just let me play it. So I said, no, thank you. Hit the button again. And then it told me the best experience, I should do this. So it seems like I have to do this.
Oh.
And then I said, this is nonsense, and closed my iPad. And I'm like, what are you doing, Luna? Get out of my face. So just be warned, that might be something you have to do, which is honestly, it's not that big a deal if you're like bought into Luna. It probably would be a better experience, but I don't know why it was like really forcing me to do that. Anyway, I played the one game, read out. There's like 50 games right now available as part of that free trial. That has a good selection. You know, it's got Control, it's got Bloodstained, River City Girls, Overcooked 2. It's got a bunch of different ones. A couple ones that are missing from its first reveal. Like I know it mentioned Resident Evil 7. That's not on there. So maybe that's coming. Who knows?
Okay.
Actually, just a quick side note. Speaking of cloud services, I believe that Immortals Phoenix Rising demo is now live on Stadia for people to try out. Might be something if you're interested in that.
Neat.
Anyway, Luna's a thing. I'm not going to buy the controller this time because you do not need that controller to use it. So I bought it at first and then I canceled it because I was like, I'm literally buying this to put it in a drawer. What am I doing? Like, I can use my Xbox controller. Stop. Did that. All right.
I just really like getting arbitrary controllers. That's all.
There is definitely something nice to being like, look, do you guys remember this controller? This was the weird gaming service that Google was doing. But it's not worth it. I'm not going to open a museum. I'm not that guy. Anyway, let's go on to the news.
I was waiting. I was waiting for you to say it.
I don't need to say it. That's the thing. Speaking of Ghost of Tsushima, they've announced when the raid is coming. I didn't even realize they were adding a raid to this co-op mode.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
That is very cool. So coming on October 30th, what is the raid called? The Tale of Io, which I guess is going to be, this is the culmination of the story in Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Legends is the co-op mode. Bringing the fight directly to Io's realm. The raid is divided into 3 chapters, requires a full team of 4 ghosts.
Oh my god.
So from what I understand, there will be no matchmaking, so you need to know people who are going to play this. You also need to have a key level of at least 100 as an absolute minimum before you attempt this challenge. Your key level goes up as you just like play more of the
game.
The game. It also says like make like a gear score. I didn't even notice there was a level gear thing in there, but I only played that first chapter, so clearly there's a lot more to that co-op mode than I've experienced so far. That sounds cool. I want to do that. I don't know if I'm gonna get a full 4 squad, but hey, Paul,
you're the only other person I know that has this game.
No, that's the thing is I don't know. I don't have a lot of people who played Ghost of Tsushima. Anyway, that's a cool thing that's happening. I'm curious.
Yeah, it's neat.
Moving on, announced this morning, original Fire Emblem is coming to the Switch. Did you guys watch this video announcement, this trailer?
Yeah, I saw this.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be fully translated.
So this is, what is the full title? Shadow Dragon
and the Sword of Light.
The Sword of Light. I needed to get a quick refresher on what this was. I asked our Discord.
This is the DS
played
version,
Shadow
right?
Dragon.
Yeah.
So Shadow Dragon on the DS, which we played on TDP Plus. If you would like to hear us go in depth on that,
did we?
You weren't here for that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember this.
Well, you were supposed to play it. I can tell you that. Whether you played it or not is that's on. I don't know that, but yes, Paul and I played it. I played it on the Wii U. Anyway, that was a remake of this game. This is the game itself translated. So apparently some of the mechanics are a little different.
Oh,
yeah, they slightly modernized the original game's mechanics for Shadow Dragon, and now it's the original release is here now. So,
Chad is saying you were on your honeymoon for this TDP.
Oh, that's a good reason to not be on it. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. They're translating this. They're also adding in like save states, being able to rewind turns and stuff. So a lot of quality of life improvements.
Sure.
Going to be $6.
Okay.
Which is like, okay, all right. I'm paying attention.
And it's got a collector's edition, physical collector's edition you can get with like a art book for like the 30th anniversary of Fire Emblem and stuff like this.
Okay.
However, it's a limited time release again.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, this is coming out December 4th. The special edition is, I think, $50. And it is going away on that March 31st date. It's with Nintendo trying to like beef up their fiscal year.
I don't get it. It's getting annoying.
If they had a bad year, I could understand them trying to like artificially increase those numbers, but Animal Crossing came out. Had a great year. Maybe they know that like last quarter is going to be bad for them. And that's why they're doing this or something. I don't know.
This this physical edition is neat, actually. The stuff they give you is kind of nice.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still only get a download code for the game, so you don't get a physical version of the game. It's just the book.
No, that's good.
You're basically paying for the book and that.
Right. And there's this like fake cartridge you get.
Oh yeah, NES cartridge, yeah.
Anyway, I might look into this just as a Fire Emblem fan. I don't know if I'll play through the whole thing.
Right.
But I've played like every other North American release of them, so $6. All right, some Game Pass news specifically for Android users of Game Pass. They have ported, I think, 10 or is it 8?
Shows 10 here.
They've announced 10 additional titles. They've added touch controls to some of these Xbox games for people who are playing it on the Android, which I think that's pretty cool. That they are going that far to make these Game Pass games play even better. So if you don't want to attach a controller for whatever reason, maybe you don't have a controller around while you're out. The list of games that are available beginning today is Dead Cells, Guacamelee 2, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, Hot Shot Racing, Killer Instinct, New Super Lucky's Tale, Slay the Spire, Streets of Rage 4, Tell Me Why, and Undermine. I think only 2 of those actually sound like they'd be great with touch controls. The other, I don't know why you would play those with touch controls.
Yeah.
Why not have the option? I think Slay the Spire, that's an
easy win. Yep, for sure.
For sure. That game's already on mobiles, like it makes sense. Tell Me Why, another easy one you can definitely do.
Sure.
Like Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, would you imagine playing that with touch controls?
I was thinking Streets of Rage 4 with touch sounds terrible.
Some of these also kind of make sense. Dead Cells is already on mobile, so I guess they've already like made those touch controls, you know, so that's probably wasn't that hard to add into that one. Anyway, I think it's cool that they're even putting this in there.
Yep.
Sure.
I agree.
Ubisoft Connect They are taking Ubisoft Club and Uplay and combining them into this new thing called Ubisoft Connect.
Okay.
Isn't this also... Is this the name of their live stream? Or no, that's Ubisoft Forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're using very similar names, essentially.
Yeah. So I don't know why. I guess they're just finding some redundancies and they're putting everything together into one thing. Apparently, a bunch of the club rewards are now free. 1,000+ of them they are advertising.
Huh.
I cannot tell you any more about this because I don't look that deep into Uplay at all. They did also add so the games it's going to which games will transition to Ubisoft Connect: Assassin's Creed Odyssey, For Honor, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Hyperscape, Steep, Siege, and Division 2. They're also adding a bunch of crossplay and cross progression along with this. That's kind of one of the big features of Ubisoft Connect. If these games are going to have those, which that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's good. Interesting.
Devolver Digital bought Crow Team.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. They put out the last couple Serious Sams, but still surprising.
Yeah, this does make sense. This is like... This
Devolver
almost feels
Digital...
like it already happened.
Do they have other developers underneath them?
Devolver?
That are well known, like Crow Team? I don't know.
I thought Devolver was just publishing, theoretically, a bunch of indie games. They were just helping a bunch of these indie studios kind of get out there. Developers that are theirs now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Trying to see if I can find an answer here.
I do like that this website is devolverdigital.com/propaganda/Crow Team and Devolver got hitched. So that's pretty funny. This just reminds me that there's a new Reigns game coming out from Devolver any day now. So now I'm happier than I was a second ago. For them.
Yeah, I mean,
in our weekly update of how big is Genshin Impact, I would like to present you with the Genshin Impact official Discord. Okay. Yesterday is at 640,000 members. Official Minecraft Discord has only 7,000 more members.
Wow.
So keep coming back and we'll keep telling you how big Genshin Impact is. Genshin Impact is about to become one of those games that you just don't hear about anymore because it's just beyond video game news. It's so big.
Yeah.
Stuff like Roblox. You don't hear about Roblox, but it's one of the biggest things ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Genshin Impact is just about to break that. I think Among Us is about to break that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Among Us just had a really big stream yesterday, so.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not even in the news. Yeah. Was it one of the major new politicians in
AOC
in the US?
AOC, come on, man.
Stream. Well, I don't know. Some people might not know.
AOC and
streamed
Ilhan
Among Us
Omar
with a bunch of streamers, and it's the third most viewed or third most watched stream out of Twitch's history.
Yeah, ever.
It had 430,000 people watch, and the only things that beat it were
Drake and Ninja at 500 something.
Yep, and there was someone else. I forget what the other one is. It was like someone's return.
Shroud.
Shroud's return. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was huge. Also, I must say, because I don't particularly care for some of the people playing with her, I found that stream delightful. That was fun to watch. She looked like she was having fun. Even if it is just a PR ploy or whatever to get people to vote, she seemed having fun, and I liked it.
I mean, people should vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Please vote. Oh my God, please vote. And
I'm doing it right now.
And not for Donald Trump.
Oh, well. All right. The unfortunate thing is I have no say either way. I get to watch from the sideline. So
And I also have no say, which is why I'm like, please vote
you
for
can't
me because
vote, right?
I live
he's
here.
not a citizen. It makes sense.
That's true.
So
Just here on a work
I
visa.
get whatever you guys vote for. So
Yeah, that's true.
people saying in the chat already did. Good. Nice. All right. Speaking of video games, Marvel Avengers, the video game, gave us an update on when their next generation versions are coming next year.
Sure, why not?
So there's a bit of delay. They're also pushing back their first character, which is Kate Bishop. Not as far back, but they are delaying her slightly. I'm trying to see if there's a specific date for that. And I'm not seeing it. But yeah, so Avengers, the next gen console versions will come next year. Okay. All right, last little bit of news. We saw Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
The movie is real. It's actually happening. He looks. Have you seen this picture?
Yeah.
That's the outfit. That's the Nathan Drake outfit, right?
It's straight up. Like, it's got the ring and everything.
He does still look like a child.
So,
look, he is supposed to be young, Nathan Drake. They specifically stated that.
Yep.
It's unfair, and I'm gonna side with the shitty internet that won't shut the fuck up about it. But man, Nathan Fillion just looks like Nathan Drake to me forever. So like seeing anybody else wear this stuff is hard.
Also did his facial capture.
Nathan also did that video too. Don't forget.
Yeah, he also did that like fan video too. Like, as far as I'm concerned, he is Nathan Drake. But like, I don't know. I'll watch this still. It just seems.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch this. Like, I'm sure it'll be fun. Yeah. At the very least, it can't be as bad as that latest Indiana Jones.
Oh God, I hope you're right. Oh God.
I mean, at the very least, I like Tom Holland, so I'll watch Tom Holland in a movie
for sure.
I'll enjoy that part. So, I do like this first response to this IGN tweet is Nathan Fillion beside Nathan Drake and how close they look. Anyway, Uncharted 4 was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do some questions. If you want to send in a question, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. I can read this first one from Kevin, who says, I really like the abundance of mountains and valleys in Genshin Impact and Breath of the Wild. The varied landscape makes navigating the world a lot more engaging than other open world games I've played. Therefore, my question to you is, what games do you think make the best use of vertical space?
Spider-Man.
Oh, that wasn't how I thought that question was going. Okay.
What did you think?
Well, because Spider-Man doesn't have varied landscape at all, but it makes best use of vertical space, which is why it's like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got like Central Park.
You're right. It has that one area.
But yeah, I would argue that's probably anything that uses vertical space like that would be something that requires you changing like your height a lot, like a flight sim or a Spider-Man game.
Like I was thinking Arkham City as well. Like every time.
Oh yeah, Arkham City does too.
Diving down from a building onto dudes and stuff, really fun, really good time.
See, I would almost say a flight sim not, because you never go low enough for that stuff to matter. You're always just in the open space area, right?
I see.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which Saints Row 4 when you can fly around?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. That one's fine. Crackdown, I think, is a great use of vertical space. Right. Once you get all those agility orbs, just the whole fact of you have to collect the agility orbs, that was like the best part of that game.
Yeah, jumping around and stuff. That's very good for sure. Steep was fun. Like, I really like snowboarding games, going down like a big thing. Those are usually pretty fun, and those got better as technology got better.
This is kind of on the same path as the games I was just mentioning and Spider-Man, but Infamous was good, as well as, what was that other game that came out around the same time as Infamous? Prototype. Yes, 'cause I think that one you could straight up like fly and glide around, and you could get going really fast. Now I'm thinking of Just Cause.
Yep. Grappling hook.
Grappling to the ground to save yourself, despite that making no sense. But that's great.
Yep. Oh, Shadow of the Colossus. That's all vertical space.
That's a very good one.
Yeah. That's another good one.
It's a very good one. Nice.
Okay. Next question from Suku. So there is a tweet here. I'm going to send it in the chat as well and open it here. But the question with it is, this is the original brainstorming session for the subtitle Donkey Kong Country 2. Which is your favorite? I'm fond of Diddy in Space, even though he's not. That's really good. I got to see this list. Diddy in Space, even though he's not, is really good. Diddy splices the main brain? What the hell? The main brain?
Can he get Ritty Diddy is pretty good.
Diddy's old graphics in a new game.
Beyond the Country. Mighty Morphin Power Diddy.
Diddy's Dangerous Dilemma with Diabolical Demonic King Cruel.
Diddy's desperate search for a good name for his game.
Diddy punishes pirate punks in quest for kidnapped Creature Kong.
DKC 2, more of the same.
Old King K. Rool. He's a silly old fool.
Where they're like Diddy and Diddy in a dress.
Diddy and female with hair.
Great.
Diddy's search for a toupee or some hair restorer and some underpants.
Diddy's old graphics in a new game.
I love
These
it
are
too.
all great.
I love it because there were stars between the ones that they were actually considering that are like aren't dumb. So like, of course, Diddy's Conquest, Diddy Kong Country.
Mighty Morphin Power Diddy.
Yeah, that one's good.
I do like Ye. Can he get Ritty Diddy? That's just fun to say.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Yeah.
The space one is very funny. That is a very good one.
Yeah.
I like this quip on the side. Dixie was nearly named Diddy Ann.
Oh my god.
All right. Denton Sky writes in and says, I got a friend into Blazeball a couple of weeks ago, and he just learned today that baseball existed.
What?
Have you or someone you knew ever enjoyed a parody without knowing it was one?
Oh.
How do you
I don't
not
know if I even believe this.
Baseball exists?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
You can't. You must not live in North America at that point, right? At that point, I can believe it.
I mean, they do have baseball outside of North America.
Yeah, but it's not like if you're in a country that is not common. Is my point.
It must be the case for sure. That just still seems odd to me.
Yeah, they're confirming he's a Brit, so yeah, that's not a common sport up there.
Interesting. As a kid, I really, really liked a lot of Weird Al songs without knowing the original songs.
Yep,
Makes
same.
sense, sure. Yeah.
That's the easiest answer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Power Rangers, not knowing that was a thing as well.
Yeah, true.
I used to watch this animated web show called The Decline of Video Gaming, which was just a bunch of like jokes and video game references. But that was before I had played or heard of a lot of these games. So like I was hearing jokes about like Devil May Cry and Metal Gear Solid before I even had a PlayStation and access to those stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else.
I don't think I have anything.
I will say baseball is better than baseball.
Yeah, I think I agree.
All right, Rasterman writes in with a few questions. First one, I kind of trimmed this down so it was a bit shorter. Is the lives system in video games an outdated concept in the industry or not?
It only works in certain games.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the life systems, but I'm also not a fan of things that kill you outright. So I don't know.
So Rasterman had sent in like a video that was kind of breaking down and giving examples. So stuff that was in, and I watched some of that video while I was waiting to do the show. So some of the examples was like dying in Meat Boy doesn't matter. You start immediately again. Having lives makes no sense.
We had this discussion like last week.
I think it was something similar.
Yeah, we brought up Meat Boy specifically and how fast it restarts. I think I was talking about like Al was awakening or something like that, or Al was.
It could be, yeah.
Whatever.
The video mentions like Mario Odyssey is the first time Mario game does not have lives in it.
Sure. Okay.
And then, so it kind of breaks it down like lives are basically like a checkpoint system, and it's just longer form checkpoints or short form. Like, do you start the stage over? Do you start a series of stages over? Do you just go back to the checkpoint? Kind of the crux of the video was looking at Crash Bandicoot 4 because it has a modern mode and then a like original mode that you can pick at the beginning, where if you play it on modern mode, it just basically gets rid of lives.
Okay.
Whereas if you play
sure.
original, when you get your game over or whatever, you will go back to the beginning of the stage. Otherwise, you just go back to the most recent checkpoint. I think lives are outdated, and I think going back to the most recent checkpoint is I personally would just want to do that. I guess in the video, the argument for lives was, are you trying to overcome an obstacle or like a sequence of obstacles at this point now? Sequence being like, if you're going to go further back, do you need to do the stage in one life? I think the video was against lives personally.
Yeah.
Where do you guys land?
I mean, I play a lot of games where you have one life essentially, and like a checkpoint system or whatever that sends you back a decent amount. I guess like the difference is playing Doom Eternal again, it has like checkpoints and lives, and the life just like when you die, it instantly just like gives you full health again or health again so that you can keep fighting. And then when you're out of lives, it sends you back to the checkpoint. So I don't know.
So like a revive essentially.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I'm not really for lives, but I'm not really against them either. I kind of don't care.
One thing I thought was kind of interesting from the video is it said in a lot of games, the lives aren't even balanced very well. You either have so few that the game begins to feel quite difficult, or you have so many that it doesn't even matter. Like you have 99 lives by this far in. And I know that's a case like pretty regularly. I'll hear one of you guys saying that, like, by World 2, I already had like 60 lives.
Yeah.
So like, what's the point? But again, if and some examples in like Mario World, it's like, well, if you are actually needing these lives, then it's going to incentivize you to like get 100 coins, or find the hidden life block, or play the mini games to get a life.
Yeah. You know what weirdly uses lives in a very good way, actually, is playing Expert and Super Expert in Mario Maker, because it's endless and you go for as many lives as you have. So it incentivizes you to try to collect lives while you play. So
yeah, there's also a cap at how many you can get, so it keeps you from just abusing it too.
Yeah, it's kind of neat, actually.
Well, I mean, the weird thing about that is, because if you're just playing someone's stage, coins like don't matter. Why are they even in here at this point?
For lives. Yeah.
But if you're not playing the like endless mode or
right, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like you can't tell what way a person's going to play the stage. That's why they're in there, regardless. So.
They're indicators usually, if anything. Yeah.
So it's just odd because they've kind of went from like they used to be something important to like now they're just here because it's a Mario game. Of course, you have coins. It's definitely odd. Yeah. Where do you land, John? Lives or no lives?
I honestly don't care.
Yeah.
To be honest, there's like the place and time for both, but I would argue, yeah, lives nowadays kind of obsolete.
Yeah, I think I agree. It just seems like, you know, like a holdover from the arcade.
Yep.
Trying to get your
Oh,
quarters.
that's exactly what it is. It is definitely a holdover from the arcade days.
Yeah. All right, Rashman has another question. I also kind of trimmed this one down. So, a friend asked me to watch an anime without looking up a single thing about it. No artwork, synopsis, characters, nothing. I did, and after 20 minutes or so, I got what he meant. Has something of the sort ever happened to you with any series, anime, video game? How hard has it become to do such a thing over the years?
Yeah. So this podcast is weird because it forces me to look at news and stuff. I won't watch trailers on my own because if I know that I'm going to get something, I don't want to know anything about it because why would I? I'm going to experience it. Sure. I actually don't remember the last time I've seen a movie trailer because I haven't been to a theater in a long time. So I definitely don't like to know stuff going in. I guess the last one for me is I knew there was something off with Doki Doki Literature Club, but I didn't know what. So I went into that completely blind, and I could see why people said to.
What about you, John?
I can't even think either of that one. See, my thing is like I don't even watch shows that often, so like I'll hear like buzz about it. So like I'll use The Mandalorian as an example. Like the only thing I knew about The Mandalorian going in was that people liked it and Baby Yoda. That's all I knew about it. And I was like, well, I guess I'll give it a shot, and I liked it.
Yeah.
But it is, since my job involves me being on the internet all the time, it's hard to not have at least some part of someone's opinion thrown at you about it, or like some sort of media about something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like Paul in that I've stopped looking up trailers for stuff unless it's something I'm absolutely pumped for.
Yeah.
So
I can't think of an example where someone recommended something and I was already kind of blind to it, and then I checked it out. I usually will look into something a bit beforehand myself. Also, when it comes to like games and stuff, I'm usually the one playing it first. But yeah, no, I've definitely kind of cooled off on trailers. I try not to watch as much as I can, and go in as blind as possible.
Yeah.
Try to think. Do you think there's an example where you would get more out of any kind of media by knowing anything about it, or do you think everything would be better if you knew literally nothing?
There's some media that it can be ruined for, like say it's like a choose your own adventure style thing, or like something with like big twists and surprises. But like they're kind of edge cases at times.
So which side are you arguing for?
I would say let people be surprised by things.
Yeah. So you're saying no matter, like, everything would be improved if you knew nothing about it?
I think a lot of things would be improved. Here's the problem. There's no black or white on this one. Like there's a lot of things that would be improved by this, and there's a lot of things that would be kind of ruined by this, because you would go and play a lot of things or see a lot of things that are bad as a result. Reviews and like previews and stuff like that keep you from playing things you wouldn't like or watching things you wouldn't like.
Okay. To play devil's advocate to that. Let's say it is a bad game or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think you would actually like it more than if someone said this is a bad game and set up some kind of expectation to you?
I think I'd be disappointed more if I went in blind and was like, oh man, this does suck.
Okay.
Right. Like if I went in like, yeah, like you're gonna kind of be disappointed by it, then I was like, okay, yeah, they're right. Sometimes having your expectations set helps. So
yeah, no, I could see that. All right, and this last one from Raster Man requires me to look at the full list. Okay, blast from the past question. So we were sent this question a long time ago, and we can try and guess what we said back then. This was before you. You're welcome to guess Nathan's answers.
Okay.
Wow, it's that old, huh?
Okay.
All right. I'm not sure exactly how old this one. All right. Top 3 video game characters. So I don't have, so they're blacked out for me, so I can even guess it before checking. But, John, why don't you start? Give me your top 3 video game characters.
God.
Or Paul, if you can say one of Nathan's already, go ahead.
Oh, I know one of Nathan's. It would have been Francis York Morgan because that's what he talked about in that time period.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my guess too for that. One of mine is probably Samus.
Okay.
What about yours?
I actually have no idea what I would have said.
I honestly have no idea what you would have said either. Honestly,
yeah, I don't. So I'm even thinking like, what are my favorite?
And I used to listen every week. So I
can't even think of one now. Like what's your favorite game? Burnout Paradise. The car from Burnout. I'm not gonna say
car.
DJ
The car. Good character.
Exactly. I don't think I would have said like Professor Layton, but I know I really like that series.
So do we know what year this is? Let me look up what came out that year. Okay.
Don't know what year this is.
Well, I mean, it was before 2013, right?
John, I want to hear at least 2 more from you
right.
before I start looking at these answers.
I probably would have also said Nathan Drake.
I could see Sean saying Nathan Drake too, actually.
Yeah. I can't see myself saying that. I can't see John saying that.
Oh, I could see one
and
of
the
you
problem is
saying
I'm trying to think of what the third character would be in that case, because I'm like, I really like Solid Snake.
John, do you think you may have said Frank West?
Me? No.
Oh, okay. I'm just.
I would have said Dante.
Here.
Honestly, I'm gonna say Dante. I really like Dante.
Sure? Okay. Before I look at the answers, do you want to guess any more of Nathan's, Paul? You can guess Nathan too if you want.
I'm trying to think of what else Nathan was into.
Nathan would probably say something crazy like Pac-Man.
He probably would say like an older thing that he has like some fondness for.
Sean, I think you might have said back then, what's the Assassin's Creed 2 guy? I can't remember. Ezio.
I don't think I would say that.
I think you were big.
I don't have anything against him. Okay, sure. All right. Looking at like how big these like blackouts are, mine seem to be longer names than John's and Nathan's. Although John has a pretty long one. John might have like the longest name actually. Oh, okay. John, do you think you may have said Waluigi at some point?
Maybe as a joke. I don't really think he's one of my favorite characters.
Okay.
I probably, you know what? Knowing me, I probably said Samus, Captain Falcon, and Dante, and maybe Mega Man.
Captain Falcon.
Captain Falcon's a good one. Yeah, for sure. I wondering if I would have said like a Fire Emblem character. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna start going through them. Ready?
What about? Were you in a Mass Effect? I bet Shepard's one of them.
What? Shepard? Maybe, yeah.
Like maybe for Nathan even. Sure. I could see Nathan being really into it.
I could see Nathan saying a Mass Effect character. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start going through them. Starting with Nathan.
Oh no.
We did not get. Nathan said Big Boss, which actually does make sense.
Okay.
Good choice.
John Marston. Never would have guessed that.
What?
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
It really is just based on what he was playing at the time, I guess.
And then Agent Francis York. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
We knew we got York. Yeah.
I'm next.
No way we're getting York wrong.
This is such a question. I'm so curious. What?
Oh man.
Did Captain Smiley from Comic Jumper? What?
Wow. You can definitely tell what was new at that point.
What? I can tell you, after I said this answer, I did not think about that character until right now.
For 10 years.
I have a statue of Captain Smiley just over there.
It's incredible. Holy shit.
Amazing.
Okay. I did say Professor Layton. Okay, I did guess that. Professor Layton.
That makes sense for you.
Yeah. And the last one. Okay, so Paul gets partial points. It's Nolan North crossed out, and then it says Desmond Miles, which is the Assassin's Creed guy.
Oh, weird.
So partial points. I'm shocked I said that. Wow. Okay.
Especially
John.
Desmond and not like Ezio or something weird.
Yeah, I guess because that was like the through line. I don't know, man. John said Nathan Drake. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
He said Duke Nukem. How are you feeling with that answer?
I think that was pre Duke Nukem Forever, or it was just as it was coming out, so I was excited for it.
Oh no!
Laugh at the last one. What is this?
The horse from Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, I was definitely trolling at that point. If I said aggro.
There's like a follow-up that reads, then they started to say names after their choices. So I think we just had some random names out there. We have King of All Cosmos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good one.
Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
Not sure who would have said that. Maybe Nathan.
I might have said
Dante
that.
from Devil May Cry.
There's Dante. Okay.
Any of the Ninja Turtles.
And I probably also said that.
That's John. Yeah.
Okay.
Weird.
That's a good one.
I was definitely trolling if I said the horse from Shadow of the Colossus.
All right.
That's super me trolling.
Holy, I cannot believe my answers. What? Captain Smiley. Jeez.
Captain Smiley is an amazing choice, which definitely makes me wonder what the hell was the wording if that was what we were going with.
I do remember enjoying that game, but not that much.
All right. VGC Kenny says, as Canadians, are you more confused by British English or US American English?
Neither.
Yeah, I wonder what they mean by confused.
Like we switch back and forth between the spelling of the two. I throw a lot of U's into things all the time.
That's what I was gonna say. Is Canadian is kind of a combination of the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have a bunch of the U's, but I say even a lot of the time I don't write with those U's. Even growing up, I didn't really write with those U's because there's such an American influence. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess if I had to pick one, probably British, because I know there's some slang that doesn't resonate with me, whereas like all American slang, understand.
You're saying British would confuse you more.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we definitely have like none of the slang from over there. That's the biggest thing. But in terms of like the spelling,
sure,
it's a combination of yeah.
No, I see. I guess I think I see it because Oogie brings up a good point in chat. Is pants in Canada underwear or leg clothes? They're leg clothes.
Yeah.
But they can be referred to as both, essentially, sometimes.
Yeah.
But more commonly, it is just pants.
I've never heard pants meaning their underwear.
Also, there's if it gets even more confusing, there's Canadianisms where different provinces say different things for different stuff. So, like
sure.
Like Saskatchewan calls hoodies bunny hugs.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I know a sled means different things in Canada and the States, as well as beanie and toque are different. Like, there's weird different Canadianisms for everything as well.
Toque is like not a thing down here. I can't think of what sled would be besides like a toboggan.
I can't remember what it is either, but it's definitely something different to certain people.
Got any like East Coast ones you can drop on us? I feel like there's got to be some like Newfie ones, right?
Oh, there's a ton of Newfie ones, but nothing's coming to mind.
Okay.
The only one I can remember right now is from an old comedy skit, and it's a hang-ashore. And a hang-ashore is basically a lazy person because it refers to someone who wants to go help with the fishing, but instead of going on with them, they just hang out on the shore, waiting for them to come back.
Definitely sounds like a maritime province. We're surrounded by water kind of saying.
Yeah.
I have a list of some here actually. Apparently boot, to seek a provider of liquor, more common in Alberta. Like
I've never heard that as an Albertan.
Find somebody. I've definitely heard this before growing up, where it's like, can you get your brother to boot for us? You've never heard that?
Oh, actually, now that you say that,
right?
That sounds a little familiar, but like I've maybe heard that like once in my life, but
there's no way that's like common.
No. In BC and parts of Alberta, ginch for underwear, for men's underwear. I've definitely heard that from some people before. Skookum in British Columbia.
What now?
Strong or robust.
Heard that either.
A buckle bunny apparently is a female rodeo groupie, which I've never been to enough rodeos to know that term, but there you go.
As people from Calgary, or who lived in Calgary a long time, I feel like we're the most likely to have heard that, and I've never heard that.
Let me see some from Atlantic Canada and see if John knows any of these. Maybe these will...
Keep in mind, some from Atlantic Canada will be different because if they're from like the actual Maritimes versus Newfoundland.
What about
Newfoundland
Angashore?
is time.
What?
Angashore? I don't know if I'm saying that right. A weak or miserable person?
I mean, that's what I just said. Hang ashore.
Oh, is it? Okay. What about Jinker?
Not familiar with that one.
Someone who is a bringer of misfortune. It's like, oh man, that guy's such a jinker. Ronnie?
Ronnie's a piece of shit. No, I don't know.
Okay.
Here it says thin or bony, but okay. I mean, it might mean different things to different people, so I don't know.
No, I was joking. I don't know what that one was.
Okay, all right.
There's also a slur here that doesn't mean the thing we know it for, but I'm not going to say it either way. And it's a bundle of half-dried fish is what they used to refer to.
Oh, I think I know which one that is.
Yeah. Can't say that one. Yeah, anyways, words are weird. Oh, there's a second question here. A new David Cage game is announced, and Adam Sandler is set to play the main character. I saw that fucking Herbie Halloween or whatever is what. Well,
how was it?
We should have talked about it.
Oh my god! I thought it would be maybe just kind of like a stupider Ernest Scared Stupid or something, like a cute little Halloween thing. It is a fucking mess. It is a travesty.
He did say he was going to make the worst movie ever if he didn't get that nod from Uncut Gems.
He might have. He might have. It's real bad.
Damn.
Okay, David Cage game is announced. Adam Sandler set to play the main character. Does it become a disaster? Yes. Or will the two forces somehow balance each other out and make something good?
I would probably still play it.
Yeah.
Got one problem with this question. It implies that David Cage is some really great director. So he will balance out the really bad Adam Sandler. And I don't agree with that. Because those games are complete nonsense. And the story is pretty shaky. Like, they're okay at best. So I think it would be a bad game. And and you'd have to watch and listen to weird computer graphic Adam Sandler probably scream
or do like a dumb voice.
Yeah. Well, there would be like facial recognition. Like they get like a hyper realistic one, like Ellen Page, right? But it'd be Adam Sandler, and all I can assume is it would be a lot of him yelling about robots or something, or ghosts,
loud
or
man.
ghost robots.
Yeah, ghost robots. Yeah, bad.
How do you think it would be, Paul? Bad? Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, that's going to do it for this week. If people would like to send in questions for next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
Mario 35.
Yeah, Phasmophobia.
Mine is Ghost of Tsushima. Right.
Nice.
And for the Patreon, the TDP Plus poll is live right now. So go vote on what November's game is going to be. 4 choices. So go check that out. And or subscribe so you can listen to whatever we're going to end up talking about. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.